Well, hi everyone, Corey Barker here once again with another movie-inspired tutorial. This is actually from a movie poster I saw in a magazine just recently, and it was a very interesting concept, interesting use of shapes to build the overall composition. So we will start in this document here, and what we're going to do is go ahead and create a new blank layer, and we're going to go ahead and use inside of the toolbar here where the selection tools are. We often use the rectangular and elliptical marquee tools, but the tools that are used very much less often are the single row marquee and the single column marquee tools. Well, we're going to go ahead and grab the single row marquee tool and just make a line. It generates a 1 pixel tall and whatever the width of your document is selection right in here, right the moment you click inside your document there. So we'll position it right about there. I'm going to go ahead and fill that with white. So white is set as my background color in my toolbar, so I'm just going to press Command Delete. That would be Control Backspace on Windows. And if I deselect there, you can see is a single line. So we go ahead and put another one a little bit further down, getting me a little bit of space in between those. And again, we'll fill that with white. And there we have an interesting block. We're going to add a couple more elements here. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit. And we're going to use the rectangular marquee tool this time, and I'm going to draw a box down here at the bottom, pretty much lined up with the original box down here. We'll put that right about there. And on this shape, we're going to go into the Edit menu, go to Stroke. We'll go ahead and give us I'll just give it a 1 pixel inside, and we'll make sure it's white, so it's the same size line as the rest of the shapes, and click OK. And there we have our shape. Now, we've got this image separated into different spaces now with these lines. So what we can do is actually use our magic wand to generate selections of each one of these block areas and paste an image inside. So we'll start with this the biggest area up top here. So the image we're going to composite in there is this one right here. So I'm just going to take this entire image. We'll go into the Select menu and choose All. Selects everything. Go under Edit, Copy, and we'll copy that to the clipboard. Minimize that. We'll go back into our original layout, and we're going to grab that magic wand tool, and on that layer containing the lines, we're going to click in there in that top section, and it will generate a selection of that area by itself. Now you do want to make sure you have contiguous checked on up here, otherwise it'll select all the other areas inside this layer. So with that top area selected, we're just going to go into the Edit menu, and instead of choosing Paste, we're going to go to Paste Special and choose Paste in 2. It's going to take whatever image is on the clipboard and then goes ahead over here and generates a layer mask, paste the image on its own layer, and you'll notice also that the layer mask is not linked to the original image, immediately allowing you to move that image around and get the best positioning that you want. So in this case, I am going to move it around and in fact scale it a little bit to get it in that area. Looks good. Now let's go and do the next image. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the next image, which is this woman right here. So we'll go ahead and do, again, Select All, Edit, Copy, minimize that. We'll go in here, and we're going to composite this one in this area right down here toward the bottom of the image. Now I notice that I don't have as much room as I would like. So I'm going to go ahead and select both of these layers and just nudge this up a little bit. Let's actually link that layer mask now at this point. Let's just nudge that up a little bit. There we go. So that would all move together, increasing the area of this lower part down here so we can see more of the woman when we put her in there. So now I'm going to reselect the layer containing the lines, and then again use that magic wand tool, click inside, and again Edit, Paste Special. I don't have to worry about creating a new layer before I do this. It's going to do that automatically for me. So once I choose Paste in 2, there the image is inside of that shape. Now I just need to move it and reposition it. Perhaps even scale it again just a little bit. So we'll get her down here toward the bottom of the image. Now this harsh edge right here, I don't necessarily want that, so I'm going to go ahead and select the layer mask, and we'll just put a gradient on that just to fade it across like that. There we go. So that's looking good. Well, now what I want to do is, this is where the title is going to go. The main title is going to go in this middle section right here. And I don't want to just drop the title in there in that open area. We actually want to put a texture in there. So using the same technique we've done with the images, we're going to go in here and again, reselect the layer containing the lines, click in there and make it an active selection. And the texture I'm going to use is actually this texture here. It's a simple cardboard texture. But we're going to go ahead and change it up a little bit by going into the image menu, then go to adjustments and choose desaturate. And then we're going to do a little bit of a levels adjustment just to boost the contrast of this a little bit. Make it darker. We'll brighten it a little bit. Just giving me an overall more interesting texture there. So again, as before, we'll do select all, go to edit, copy, puts it in the clipboard. We'll minimize that down. We still got our active selection over here, so we'll just go to edit, paste special, paste into, and there's my texture. And I can move it around, reposition it, whatever I need to do. So now it's on its own layer. I'm going to do a few things to this. I'm actually going to go ahead and double click on the layer and open up the layer style panel and add a gradient overlay. And I'm going to go ahead and make the gradient, put it in overlay mode. So it gives me a little bit of a transition on that texture. So it's just not a flat texture. It actually has seemingly a little bit of dimension to it. In fact, I'm going to reverse it so the dark area is up top there. There we go. That looks good. So you can see that's just a subtle difference, but it really makes a big impact there. So, quick little layer style on there. Now we're ready to, well, we're not quite ready. So we're going to reselect back on the lines here, and there's this box down here. It's going to contain the name of one of the actors. So, again, like before, reselect the lines layer, click in there, make an active selection. We're not going to be pasting anything into this selection. Rather, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new layer and fill this with a color. I'm going to choose this red color in the swatches panel and then just press Option Delete and fills that shape in. Now let's make a duplicate of that layer, of that red box, and then take the duplicate and just drag it up here. Now let's actually get it on top of the layer order here so it's above this box here. And perhaps squash it in a little bit there. There we go. Giving a little bit more interest there. So now all the elements are in place. Now I have my text here, and there's the title of my movie. It's my fake movie. I called it Recoil. I don't know why. It just sounded cool. And I've got my actors' names here. And no, I don't know where the names of these actors came from. If your name is the same as either one of these, I apologize. I did the best I could to think of names that I'd never heard of before. So I've placed those in place. Everything looks really good. You could add other elements here too. In this box that's sitting on top here, you could add something like a drop shadow to give it a little bit more depth on top of that image. Notice the text has drop shadows on it as well. So we're looking pretty good, and that's pretty much it. So you can see how starting with some simple 1-pixel lines to build the overall placement or the blocks or boxes that your images are going to go into, and then using that paste into feature with the layer masking to get the best possible positioning, ultimately resulting in a very interesting layout. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a relatively simple concept, just simple rectangular shapes to build this, but a very interesting way of going about it right here inside Photoshop.